Next story is about a Cleveland man who found his passion in a junkyard. That was years ago. And what he found there sent him in an unusual direction.
Yeah, in this segment of My Ohio with Leon Bibb, it's a story of a Cleveland man with a talent so unusual, he can probably take anything you're throwing away and find a way to make it useful again.
I had heard about Tim Willis of Cleveland's Fairfax neighborhood. When I went to talk with him, I had no trouble finding him, and neither does anyone else. It is a busy stretch of a short street in Cleveland. Drivers creep by and gawk. You'd rubberneck too at East 83rd Street at Central Avenue. I'd use the word unusual for the man who lives here, but the word unusual falls short. Let him describe himself. What do the neighbors think about you?
I'm crazy.
Tim Willis generates a lot of talk. His Cleveland East Side yard is bumper to bumper with a convoy of gas and diesel guzzlers painted like a traveling circus. These vehicles are his motorized road buddies who show out at monster truck mud races, festivals, or wherever Willis can gun a bass-voiced engine. You do all this by yourself?
By myself.
You have no help in building all this stuff?
No.
Don't want any help?
No.
You know what you're doing?
Yes.
Contraption-minded, that's Willis, a homegrown mechanical engineer whose heart beats like a piston pushing power. Through his veins flows transmission fluid, a tinkerer with tons of monster truck metal. He's an eye-catcher, all right.
Come by here every day just to see what you got new.
He has a hellified mind.
He's a genius.
Big description for a man who is self-taught. Where did you learn to do this?
You know, just taking stuff apart, like generators, I buy them and I want to see actually what makes them work.
He and drivers he hires convoy their colorful trucks show to show. They are a traveling circus with a mannequin riding shotgun. Willis's Big Daddy Fix-It shop on wheels leads the way. In it is whatever Willis figures he might need on the road. He built his shop, every inch of it. Pretty good for a high school dropout who was so bored in the classroom, he sweet-talked a junkyard owner to let him hang around. Finally, the junkyard man bellowed, "Hey kid, why don't you take some of these throwaway parts and see what you can do?"
And I built the car in my living room because I didn't have no garage.
30 years later, Willis is still seeing what he can do. In his floor-to-ceiling packed garage is an old hospital heart pump doctors used in heart surgery. When the hospital closed, the machine was up for auction. Willis bid, figuring he could take it apart for ideas in making monster trucks.
It taught me a lot of how you can take a little gear and put it with a bigger gear and get more torque.
54, divorced, he has seen 2 marriages. Each wife complained she was second fiddle to his real passion. The wife said, "Tim, it's me or your trucks." Willis made his choice. For a few years, he worked in a machine shop, but was so bored he quit and went in business for himself. That evolved into nationwide road running as a showman. If the price is right, he'll wheel spin through a muddy racetrack or park his circus at a festival and get paid. But in a free show at Cleveland's East 83rd and Central is a parade of drivers, eyeballing grunting machines and cranking engines. This is the neighborhood showstopper, a robot 18 feet tall and 4,000 pounds. Tim Willis, the self-made man, made this man. And this man has the ability to walk down the street 1 foot in front of the other.
They can actually walk or drive, stop, and it can stand up and start walking.
The new big man on the block is a transformer or a robot, a mechanical man able to walk the walk. Baby steps for sure. Soon this Frankenstein of steel and hydraulics will heavy-foot it with giant steps. Robots, barrel voice, monster engines. When Willis gives him the gas, he fuels his own passion. Story of a self-taught former junkyard scavenger turned showman with a heavy street corner show.
That's how I do it.
If you see him on the highway bound for a show, let him have the road. It's his. The man called the mechanical genius of East 83rd Street is souping up an old funeral home hearse, breathing new, robust, heavy-motored life into a vehicle which usually had only moved in a slow procession. Once brightly painted and fitted with a big mud race tires, the old hearse will eventually join the cavalcade of cars. Leading the pack in the driver's seat, you'll find Tim Willis, throttling his traveling circus of monster trucks and robot. Willis has the road. Live on 5, looking at life in my Ohio. I'm Leon Bibb.